Morning Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the new drug is hump day on a game week. Frangie, Carly, and La Selva with you. Game right around the corner. Busy show today. Carolina Panthers are coming to town. That's what I've been told. That's my intel. I'm very excited. I've been excited all week. I was excited last week because of the college stuff, but really excited this week.
I tell you what, and you get even more excited when you dive in to the Carolina Panthers defense from a year ago.
It's an exciting prospect.
I mean, my God. I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Wasn't Clowney there? Clowney was there, right?
I think.
But he didn't do anything, right?
5 sacks.
Is that what it was? Something like that, right?
Their defense allowed 3,057 rushing yards.
Right.
A 5.2 yards per carry average allowed and 24 touchdowns.
They really did allow a
5.2
for the season,
which is the highest I've ever seen. I'm not saying it's a record. I'm just saying I don't remember ever seeing.
Boy, it's got to be in the seriously. It's got to be in the neighborhood of
5.2 a carry
for the season.
Yeah,
I'm not a math expert, but 2 carries is a first down.
Yeah,
correct.
I mean, is it? They literally wow. I mean,
they made up for it though.
This will be good.
By allowing 4,043 yards through the air and 35 more touchdowns.
So what
they gave up at least 30 points 10 times last season.
So you're saying they weren't good defensively?
I'm saying if you're Trevor Lawrence and you got the game plan this morning and you're Liam Cohen, who shredded these guys twice last year, I'm thinking it's, at least for Liam and Trevor, an ideal week 1 opponent.
Happy days.
Now, we'll see. Maybe Carolina will score 38 and win 38-35, but it certainly seems unlikely that the Jaguars offense should struggle. And if they do, that could be big problems.
Yeah.
Because Carolina hasn't really done much. You know, their first-round pick was Tedero McMillan. So, you know, they invested a receiver, you know, in their first-round pick, coming off a historically bad defense. And they really didn't do anything. I mean, they've got some new guys, but it's not like, you know, it's not like they went out and signed Reggie White, Deion Sanders, and, you know, Brian Urlacher. I mean, they didn't make a huge splash in terms of the guys they brought in. I mean, literally, you look at their defensive depth chart, it's J.C. Horn, and it's Derek Brown. And, I mean, that's it in terms of guys that I think would remotely frighten you. So anyway, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll say all this, and Carolina will win 10-9. But I'm just saying, like, it's a different year. But my goodness, this seems like it sets up really well.
And we'll talk more about and I'm serious about this, the specifics of, is it good that the expectations, at least for that game, are so high? Is there more pressure because of that? This is an incredibly important, exciting, intriguing opener for all the reasons we all talked about. We'll get to that today on the program. We'll hear from Dwan Smoot. I know you caught up with the pass rusher today, so I certainly look forward to that. Today on the program, Brett Hastings is going to be here talking sports and course, a really interesting topic. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Dwan Smoot. Hazel will hear from him. We've got headlines coming up. We've got Shane Matthews, Tom Block, Joe Zagacki all on the same program today. State Farm College Football Report. Kevin Kaplan stops by. So we are loaded with stuff today, and I'm excited about it on the program. The sports and course is going to be really fun. There's 2 Vanderbilt players, you've probably seen this now, that are suing for a 5th year. Well, what they're saying, and I don't always agree with some of this stuff, but what they're saying is it should be 5 to play 5. I've always said that. Lou Holtz, by the way, introduced that. And do you remember this? In the 80s, Lou Holtz said, this 5 to play 4, the reason we put in 5 to play 4 is the theory is it still matters if a guy graduates, and it's easier to graduate while playing football. It's easier to graduate if you're on scholarship for 5 years. That's the whole reason 5 for 4 was put in, was to help kids graduate. That was very clear. Well, if we've decided that 5 years makes sense because we care about helping these guys get degrees, then why not allow them to play all 5 years? Well, what are we hurting? Hurting stats? Do we care about because their stats are more? Does anyone really care about that? So I've always thought Lou Holtz introduced 5 to play 5 in the 80s, Hayes, and I've always thought it was a great idea, and that's what these Vanderbilt players are pushing for, and I hope they get it.
I think they will get it. I mean, novice opinion. I'll be curious in seeing what Brett thinks, but I mean, I don't think we're that far away from permanent eligibility. I think this is almost a layup that this will go through. But I think it's coming. I think what you saw Zakai Ziegler do I think it will be replicated, and eventually I think they'll get that passed where you can, to me, you just can't kick people out of a business because of aging out of it at 22 years old. That just doesn't make any sense from a capitalism standpoint. Makes no sense. If somebody doesn't want to pursue a professional career, and particularly if they don't think that the professional league is going to have an interest in their skill set, but the college level does,
Right.
and the college level pays handsome salaries, I just don't see how a court can say, no, you're going to have to go get another kind of job outside of athletics, at least outside of being a player, because you're too old to do this. And so I think all this stuff is really interesting legally. And yeah, I'll be very, very curious to see if these Vanderbilt players get the relief they seek. My guess is they're going to.
Well, and again, if indeed the reason we went to 5 to play 4 instead of 4 to play 4 is because we cared about graduating. That's what we said. Okay. Well, if indeed we said that, then how can this not go through at this point? What are you really saving if you ask the guy to only play 4 of those 5 years? By the way, I saw something really interesting. Remember TJ Finley, quarterback?
Vaguely.
Okay. He played for LSU and Auburn. Okay. He is trying to play for his 6th team.
It's amazing.
6. I mean,
that's more than Fitz magic.
I mean, he played at LSU
at the NFL level,
right? He played for 6. I mean, he played for LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Western Kentucky, Tulane, and now is at Georgia State. Hey, 6'6". He's a college football player who's about to play in competitive games for his 6th team.
Look at Jaden Rashada. He's already been at Florida, Arizona State, Georgia, Sacramento State, and he's been in college 2 years.
And I think you missed one. I think there is another one. So good point.
I mean,
But when I saw TJ Finley, you're right. But when I saw TJ Finley's trying to play for his 6th team, I just laughed out loud.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It was 6.
And that's the other thing to this. At that point, it's not an educational endeavor, and this is why all this needs to be collectively bargained. And in a CBA, you could say, look, you have 5 years to play 5 years. That's it. But then you are out, and you've got to go.
Well, that's what I think too, and I'm going to make that point.
But it's all that. It's the same thing with allowing 6 different schools to come into a CBA would tighten all of this. But I don't know that that's ever going to happen because the universities they'd have to give up a bigger piece of the pie.
Right. And I am going to tell back that when Brett gets here, one of the points to your point is I think the 5 for 5 should go through. But then that's it. We can't keep transferring and keep playing and keep playing and keep transferring. And if a collective bargaining agreement is the way to have some rules, then maybe you're right. But you're right. It'll also be harder to do. All right. So we'll talk about that today. I want to get into the whole Alabama thing today. I didn't want to talk about Alabama yesterday. I wanted to talk about Florida State because talking about Alabama's woes, I felt like would cheapen the Florida State win. Florida State earned that win. Yeah, they really did. Those Noel fans were great. The place was packed. They deserved to celebrate that win yesterday. So I was not going to get into the woes of Alabama like everybody else was. But it's a day later now, and we celebrated FSU's win, and Florida's win, and Miami's win. And what is going to happen? I mean, are they going to fire him this year? And if they do fire him this year, who is it? Is it Kiffin? Who is it? Does Sark leave Texas to Alabama? There's not many jobs you'd say no to Alabama if you had it, but Texas might be one you do. So we'll get into that coming up later on. We'll talk some Jaguar football, the significance and importance of this game. Again, Brett Hastings in just a minute. 5 to play 5 will be the topic. That's Sports and Course. Later on, you'll hear from Dwan Smoot in the first hour of the program. We've got headlines coming up as well. Tom Block, Shane Matthews, Joe Zagacki, Kevin Kaplan. We are loaded up with stuff. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday. Our Wednesdays, by the way, are always brought to you by Coyle & Sons Fence Company, the best fence company around. You can call them at 904-356-4821. I was on the phone with my Coyle & Sons buddies today. They're going to do a big project, another project at our ballpark. Look, that's who we trust. The Bregan Baseball Complex still has some fencing needs, and we're going to make sure our friends from Coyle & Sons handle that. 904-356-4821. or log on to coiljacks.com. Let's start it off with Sports and Courts. 5 to play 5. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
4th and goal at the 1. They set up in the eye.
When you add up the moments and break down the best,
It's a hostile environment.
you're left with a performance-painting, high-performance play of the game.
Up in the air, it is caught!
On 1010XL.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 3rd, 1995, in their NFL debut, the Jacksonville Jaguars fought the Houston Oilers 10-3 with an attendance of 72,363.
Frank Frangie here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
Welcome to the bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Brandon Thomas in St. Augustine at 904-342-3459.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkston. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. What is a gemologist?
Frank, that's a good question because gemologist is a generic title that can be used by anyone, whether they have any gemological training or not. There's also a graduate gemologist, which is somebody that's taken the gemology courses of the Gemological Institute of America and received a diploma. Then there's a certified gemologist of the American Gem Society. They've received the graduate gemologist diploma, have worked in the jewelry business for a minimum of 3 years, and are tested by examination once a year to re-win the certified gemologist title. There's one other aspect that certified gemologists have that others might or might not have, and that's the accredited gemological equipment to be able to make the right grading calls on diamonds and other gemstones. At Underwoods, we have an American Gem Society accredited gem laboratory that our certified gemologists work in, assuring you the quality and value you deserve.
That's Underwoods, Florida's longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in San Marco, Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com, enter 1010 for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
All right, time to talk. I'm not going to talk about what we talked about during the break, Hayes. I'm going to stay away from
Which
that.
is a shame.
Yeah,
because it was a lively conversation.
I'm
Point, counterpoint.
I'm mystified. No. Bad point, counterpoint. Ridiculous point. But anyway, we'll get to that later. Okay, so hey, look, even the smartest, best, one of my favorite people in the world can have dumb opinions. Is that right? Okay, so there you go. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay?
He stayed out of it. I think I know whose side he's on, but you know.
I'm Switzerland.
He is. I like 5 to play 5. Tell me what the Vanderbilt players are trying to and I'll give you my. But I've always believed that. What are they trying to get done?
So there's 10 players on it. It's greater than just the Vanderbilt players now, but there was a phenomenal excerpt from the lawsuit. I was trying to find it, but what they're saying is you got 5 years to graduate, right? But more importantly, you got 5 years to practice. You got 5 years to be on campus. You got 5 years to be there. And what was really compelling, and I just thought it was well pled, was they went in and said only 2% of collegiate athletes will ever go earn some type of professional check. And now that there's compensation by way of NIL, you're saying 1 year you can't be compensated when 98% of the time, right, there's not going to be other compensation waiting for you later. And Hayes was sort of alluding to it. And, you know, I think logistically you should have just done this for years, right, going back. But now that you put NIL compensation in place, to me, it's a clear antitrust violation. And you can't go to these young men and ladies in all of the sports if you could go earn, you know, any of this money and say you don't have that chance to go out there and to earn it, you know. And if we didn't have money, they would argue this is rationally related to the 4 years of school or any of this. And now we're going to have the 22nd year as opposed to the 17th. But I think once you put compensation in, I don't know how you win it.
And Hayes, you said that. You've said the opportunity to earn is what has changed the paradigm. I mean, that's kind of been your position on all this.
And we saw Zakai Ziegler try and fight it, but I don't think he's high profile enough. So let me throw this hypothetical at you. Let's say Thomas Castellanos wins the Heisman, that what he did against Alabama Saturday translates throughout the year, and he finishes with 55 total touchdowns. We know he does not have an NFL career. He's just too little. So the NFL is never going to have an interest in him, no matter how well he plays for Florida State in this final season. So I think some high-profile college player could fight it and have a much better chance, because if you're Thomas Castellanos and you win the Heisman at FSU, even if, I mean, FSU, I'm sure, would pay millions for him to come back, but certainly another school would throw $4 or $5 million at him to play, and it just seems like it'd be hard for the courts in a capitalistic environment to just say, no, you can't do that. You've aged out, even though your days as an athlete are done, because the NFL has no interest in your skill set.
Right. I don't disagree with you in that analysis, but I think at least in this case, it's even more clear because you're already there. Right. So, like, are we going to give them another year? Or like you said, I think there could be, you know, just sort of permanent eligibility. I don't think that will happen. I do think you can have some caveats in the law in the same way that we've seen things upheld with some of the age restrictions, or you can't go to the NFL till your third year, right? You could say that some of these are reasonably related. They could be related to their injury, their safety, or what have you, right? And I do think ultimately the courts will find a way to carve in and say, we want to do something, right? Kind of like when we were in here breaking down the executive order, to say we want to keep the traditions or we can't have the chaos or whatever. But, you know, there's a way that this ruling or decision could say, you're right. You know, you've got 5 years, play 5 years, earn 5 years of NIL, and you're done in 5 years, right? And so maybe that could be a cap or that could be a ceiling. The counter argument would be, you know, Hayes Carline, if I'm arguing it, I'd say he's not an NFL agent. Kyler Murray kind of looks like, Castellanos. Heck, if you went and had the FSU QB in a deposition, he'd tell you, and I like his confidence. I do, he's going to go be the NFL MVP, and you wouldn't know, right? So I can see where those arguments go. I do think you're not going to have permanent eligibility in the long term, but this restriction, I just don't think you can do. Can you be Zakai Ziegler? And, it used to be my dream. I went and told Mama Hastings, like, when I get done with the JD, what if I went and got an MBA and I just kept going and I rolled it all on student loans and I was just a student in Gainesville forever? And she said, get a haircut, get a job. And so we don't want to have that out, right? But
back to the 5 for 5.
5 for 5, I think, is a winner argument.
I do too.
I like and I really, when I got to read some of the excerpts, there was a real clarity. They did a really good job in the way that they had, put these things forward. I tried to look back. I don't think they're seeking injunctive relief at this point, so it's going to run through the courts for a while. But I always like to think, what's the other side going to say? Why would anybody really fight this? Why wouldn't all the ADs and the coaches want it?
I was just going to say, you were one step ahead of me. What possible reason could there be not to do it? Do we really care about, he'll have better career stats than the guy in 1971? I don't think that matters. So what and you made a way better point. You heard me say, you must have been driving in when you heard it. Lou Holtz in the 80s said, we went to 5 to play 4 to help them graduate. Because 4 to play 4, we found out too many of our players ran out of scholarship money before they could graduate. So let's add a 5th year of scholarship money to help them graduate, but they can still only play 4. And Lou Holtz's point was, if we're gonna pay them for 5 years, pay a scholarship, why can't they play for 5? You made the best point of all. They're still practicing, they're still working, they're still contributing. Right. So again, for me, I mean, you understand the courts and how these things take time. Why wouldn't that one just go through and be rubber stamped? Because you asked the same exact question I did, Brett. Who would push back? Who would ever push back on this?
Well, as I told you, I'm still convinced the stupidest governing agency in sports has been the NCAA for a long time. And I think at this point, it's like if you ever watched like Star Trek back in the day and they, go to the hyperdrive and then it's just like, whew. Yeah. It's all happening at light speed. I think these lawsuits have just come in. I don't think people will fight it that hard. But the NCAA is never somebody that's proactive and out in front of anything. If you look at who's leading the charge on everything now, the conferences and the ADs who are sitting down and knowing that we need some type of rule structure for the NIL or any of that. So
even if I'm trying to go, even just for the sake of the conversation, the devil's argument part of this thing. All right, just for the sake of the conversation, I'm trying to think what the other side could be. Okay. Just one devil's advocate moment, I can't come up with one. I can't come up with a logical Could the smaller schools resist it because they don't have enough money? Well, no, they're playing 5 years anyway, so you're not paying any more money. So I'm really trying to come up with a devil's advocate. I can't find one reason.
The only reason that I could think is just the NCAA would want to try.
It's always the way it's been.
Well, it's always the way it's been, and somehow we still exercise some control, But. I think it's good for these young athletes. I think it's good for the schools. And I got to see the coaches and the ADs saying, this seems to make a lot of sense here.
What am I missing? What possible entity would benefit by this not going through?
Right. And
I don't think it exists.
There's not one. I mean, would the pro teams feel that way? No. It's not like the pro teams aren't getting them because now with NIL, they're not getting them until later anyway. So, I mean, there's not one entity that would benefit from this not going through. Not one.
Well, and how many times do you see it gets to the end of the season and somebody doesn't want to burn their red shirt year, and somebody else has an injury or whatever. And, it's 5 years to 5 and we know it. And you're just going to go play it. And DJ Lagway would have another year, right? And you could, he's going to make $6.5 million, which is going to be more than what these other people are slotted. I mean, look at what just happened in the last week, right? I love what FSU did. Right? FSU flipped a roster, got the right guys in there. They went from 2-10 to looking like a great football team. Say what you want or will about Carson Beck. He's making as much money as he would in the NFL. He's resurrected his career. If this continues, right? You got to play more games, and Florida State's got to do it. But we're in a new, for all the bad things that we see to come out of NIL, and we've seen some, this sure gives a lot more hope to other people. And so if you did 5 for 5, right, linemen who aren't NFL prospects stay there, you're going to have more consistency on teams. And now that you can go out and make some of these bold moves or do what you're going to do, I think it makes college a little bit better. I loved the games this weekend.
Yeah,
I loved watching it, and there's almost a new sense of intrigue.
And I will say, and college football is now gone back to the upperclassmen, which is what it was. We were all growing up. The game was about the upperclass. It wasn't about the freshmen. I mean, heck, freshmen couldn't even play until 73. That was the NCAA rule. So, and now it's gone back. So again, I number Brett does a great job of texting me what some ideas for sports and courts. When I saw the Vanderbilt thing the other day, I said this would make sense. You texted me the Vanderbilt thing. This is because this one's passionate for me because I've been adamant about it way before the Vanderbilt guys.
Right.
I've believed 5 for 5 made sense forever.
Well, and let's be real. Everybody was tired of seeing Alabama and Clemson dominate college athletics. They're still in the mix, but I believe that NIL is the reason that Alabama, and obviously Saban coming out, but that somebody could, like, Florida State was 2-10 last year. All my Seminole buddies, we'd still talk about it. And I mean, they were down. It was a horrible team. They basically flipped a roster like we want the Jaguars to do. And you know what? I love college football. And in this state, if Florida, Miami, and FSU are all good, it's so much more fun. And I still want to beat them, but, that was awesome.
5 for 5. Final thing real quick, 20 seconds. Can it go through quickly? Or are we waiting forever on this?
You never know with the NCAA. I would hope it would go through quickly. They're not, as I understand it at this point, and I don't know. I want to go back and look at the docket. Without them seeking an injunction, it's going to take a little while to get it figured out. But this may be one of those things that maybe the lawsuit doesn't have to run the whole way out because, the theories that are even pled in it are pretty good, and everybody could go, that makes sense. And like you said, I think everybody who has a seat at the table would say, hey, why don't we do this now?
The beauty of pro sports, and to Hayes' point, the collective bargaining agreement that gives them all the rules or all the power, is pro sports can just change it. All right, all of a sudden, baseball, we're going to have pitchers have to face 3 batters, and there's no shifts, and we're doing it. All of a sudden, football says from now on, touchbacks come out to the 35, and we're doing it. With college, it just seems it takes forever, but I hope it gets done. Great work as always, Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm, and that is Sports and Courts. Let's hear from one of the best Jaguar defensive ends and one of the best pass rushers around after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Your doctor says your testosterone is normal. Normal for who? Beta males? That's where those lab ranges come from. Male Excel uses optimal levels, where you were at 25, not where outdated mainstream medicine thinks you should be. Our protocol is different. Daily dosing, multiple hormones, personalized to your body, not some insurance company's spreadsheet. This is precision medicine, not sick care. Try MaleExcel.com, free test. Stop being normal. Start being optimal.
Hey, it's Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip, made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Kaplan Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Kaplan is the name you can count on. This is Keith Kaplan, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Kaplan.
Who can you count on? Count on Kaplan.
For 105 years, you can count on Kaplan.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Join the fun with the Frangie Show live this Thursday from 2 to 4 at the newly reopened Firehouse Subs on University. Appearances from a Jags player, the Roar, Jackson DeVille, and the D-Line. Thursday from 2 to 4 at Firehouse Subs on University.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Here's a simple tip for shoulder health to improve your posture. Slouching can put extra stress on your shoulders, leading to pain and injury. Make sure your head is over your shoulders are relaxed and pulled back, and your spine is properly aligned, whether you're sitting or standing. If you sit for long periods of time, make sure to get up and take breaks and work on pulling your shoulders back. Get up and get moving, Jacks, and go Jags.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
It's not just commercial fencing. For the longest time, that's what they did. Now it's residential. You need a fence in your yard, someone that HOA can trust because they know how to deal with those folks. It'll always be legally exactly what you want. It'll also be the best fence around, built to last. They've done it since 1927. They've lasted. 904-356-4821 or CoilJacks.com. That's CoilJax.com. I like Dwan Smoot. I mean, I just like him.
Yeah.
Isn't he a good dude?
Oh, he's great.
I mean, I like him. I mean, when he got here from Illinois, I remember talking to him the first 2 or 3 times. I said, you know what? He's a good dude. Before we go to the interview, how important will he be, in your opinion? And I could say the same thing about Agba. How important will those guys be over the course of 17 games?
I think critically because, obviously if something happens to Hines Allen or Walker, you're in real trouble. So Agba and Smoot at least give you competent play if they had to have their roles expanded. But I think between Agba and Smoot, if you could get 12 sacks between the two of them, I think you'd feel really good about it. And again, 5-6 sacks, that's a number that Dwan Smoot has been able to deliver for this franchise several times, 4 times actually. And, it's good to have him back. He was with Buffalo last year, and you can just tell that the camaraderie that he has, but he's also such a savvy player. So, again, it's one of those things. He doesn't have to go get you 9. I mean, that'd be phenomenal. But if Dwan Smoot can come, in with 5, 6, somewhere in there, and I think Agba can certainly be in that range, then you've provided the supplemental pass rush for then Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, who you feel like are both going to have the chance to have extraordinary seasons when it comes to sacks.
Earlier today, Hayes Carline with Jaguar pass rusher Dwan Smoot.
Now, renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars defensive end Dwan Smoot here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, I've been looking forward to talking to you since you've been back. It's so good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back. Yes, sir.
What's it been like getting back in the groove of being a Jag?
It's been great. I mean, just being back home with my brothers, I'm seeing some familiar faces and others, that aren't as familiar. But I feel like these friendships that I have here are long-lasting, and I'm just so happy to be back for sure.
Yeah, what's it like being back with Devon and the guys?
It's so great. I mean, we really didn't miss a beat. We trained together during the offseason, so we're kind of getting tired of each other now.
Ready for Carolina, I'm assuming, on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, definitely ready for Carolina. We're ready to stop hitting each other and, actually go against some competition. So,
Dwan, what stands out about the rotation that you guys have? Because it seems like it's very formidable, one through, throughout the room.
Yeah, one through 6 we got now. It's very formidable. It doesn't matter who's out there. We're not gonna miss a beat. Me and Og being back there, we're both vets. We both seen everything. So I mean, our transition is just backing these guys up. But I kind of even look at it like I'm backing them up. It's like we're all the same. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who's out there. We're all collectively trying to get a W. So
How have you gotten better as a player since you were here before?
I've gotten healthier. I've definitely gotten healthier. I've learned how to take care of my body now, getting older and older, and it's more about like injury prevention and not necessarily about pounding the weights and sprinting, all that stuff. It's more about the small muscles, the small things that I can do to just get better each and every day.
What is sort of the stuff that you do from a preventative standpoint?
I don't know what it is, but I just feel like it just starts all at the feet. Like I'm doing a lot of like arch support, arch strengthening, and like if my arch is good, then the rest of my body is good. It's weird.
Well, that's interesting, and it's good. You find that stuff out as the more that you go into your career, so that gives you that little edge, right?
Yeah, it definitely gives me that little edge, a little more balance as well too.
In terms of Anthony Campanile, what's it been like getting used to his scheme and what he asks out of you?
He doesn't ask too much. He just asks you to be physical. He asks you to fire off the ball. He asks you, just be in the right places. Because at the end of the day, the defense is all schemed us for us all to only have one gap for us to make plays. So, it's been a great transition. I like his energy. I like what he stands for, and I'm excited to play for him this year.
What improvement have you seen out of Josh Hines-Allen since obviously you guys were teammates?
Josh gets better each and every year. We already know that. Him obviously being one of the best pass rushers in the league, but he's also stepped up his game when it comes to a run defense as well too. He gets, he's countless times in the backfield. So it's just so great to see him, grow. I've seen him from rookie year all the way to now, just seeing what kind of player he's become.
For football novices like us, what makes Liam Cohen's scheme a challenge from a defensive perspective?
We're gonna run the ball for sure. And you never know when the pass is coming, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of play action passes, a lot of things that kind of get the defense back on their heels and then attacking, and then right when you attack, like he throws it right over your head. So, that definitely throws a lot of different looks at us, so excited to see what they can do.
What stands out about Carolina offensively in terms of the ground game with Hubbard and the guys that they have?
It's like that with everybody in the league. You stop the run. You got to stop the run. That's the number one thing, and everything else kind of opens up after that. So our base plan is to stop the run, and then get after the passer.
And Bryce Young is a guy mobile, likes to move, try and extend plays as a pass rusher. What's that like, trying to have that controlled, but not let him get outside, that kind of stuff?
You got to rush with hands. If you don't beat him immediately, beat the guy in front of you immediately, you have to rush with hands. You got to be able to be available. So whenever he does step up or he's able to get out, you just got to be available.
What will that moment be like for you if you get a sack Sunday and have the fans, chanting smooth?
It's going to feel so good. Like it's going to be heartwarming to be back. And, I'm definitely going to be celebrating and going crazy in Duval for sure.
Dwan Smoot, it's great to have you back. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dwan Smoot goes all the way back to the 2017 season here. He was a third-round selection. And lots of great local history here with Dwan Smoot. And hopefully he's got one more big-time year left in him here.
I love him. I love hearing how enthusiastic he is during interviews.
Absolutely.
It's great work as always. We'll take a break. Headlines are next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Folks, are you looking for a better used car shopping experience? Well, you'll find it at Nimnick Buick GMC, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Now, with Car Bravo and Nimnick, you'll save big and drive home with a smile. Nimnick Buick GMC can certify all makes and models. That means Honda, Toyota, Kia, Mazda, Ford. That's right, all makes, all models. Are you trading in your old vehicle? Well, don't forget, who gives you more top dollar for your trade? Nobody but Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com or visit their showroom off of Phillips Highway. And remember, there's a lot of ways to get used cars, but there's no better way than to do it with Car Bravo, and Nimnick is the place to get your Car Bravo car for you. Head there today. All makes and models, they've got them all, and they've got them at Nimnick. So what's the best place to get cars, trucks, SUVs? Well, that's easy. Nobody but Nimnick.
New coaches.
The future. That's truly what's exciting.
New players.
I bring the juice every day.
New season.
We've done some great things this offseason.
This is where the dream begins. And Duval is downright ready.
Time to go.
Now, It's for real. Jaguars, Panthers, Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter, the area's most trusted service company. They're licensed, insured, and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations and full air conditioning service, they do it all. And with Duck Duck, it's done right. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. If the Jags trust Duck Duck Rooter, so can you.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.com.
If you want to sell your home, or you're worried about selling your home, or you've had trouble selling your home, let me give you the hotline to the help you need. That's the hotline to Chad and Sandy. 904-414-6200, chadandsandy.com. Area homes are selling, but you got to get the right price, and you need the right marketing, the proven systems. Chad and Sandy hit every base for you. Need to sell now? Instant offers coming. Fast, easy, stress-free. You want max price? Chad and Sandy bring your home to market with unmatched exposure, whether you're buying or selling. Fast or max cash, Chad and Sandy have the proven plan guaranteed. And how about this promise? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. They are the real estate experts you can trust. So call them today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, that is who you need to call. 251-1111. Holt, Julie, Renee, they'll take great care of you. 251-1111. That is the number for Harrell & Harrell. Frank, we're going to start with a Jaguars Wednesday, week 1. It is here. And running back usage has really been an emerging storyline going into Sunday's game, because it seems like the Jaguars have 4 pretty good ones.
Yeah, I think that really is one of the intriguing questions. Liam Cohen said this 2 weeks ago. He said, look, we have 4 really good running backs we like. We only think you can responsibly dress 3 and get everything else covered. So we don't know which guy to have down. If he sticks to the 3, I still don't know who's down. I assume it's one of the rookies, but I don't know that. But yeah, I think that it's a good problem to have. There's a lot of good backs to choose from.
He was even asked today if you could keep 4 up, and his response was basically, yes, you can. Obviously, you've got to draw the math from somewhere else, which sometimes can hurt you on special teams. So it seemed like he kind of backed off maybe at least left the possibility that all 4 will be up. And again, we'll see what the injury report looks like as we get to Sunday morning. But something to keep in mind, I'd like to see all 4 of them up. I'd like to see all 4 of them out there playing. We'll see what happens. Liam Cohen also talked about probably the greatest strength that the Carolina Panthers will have this year, and that is their physicality and length at receiver with Xavier Legette and rookie Tedero McMillan. This was Liam Cohen talking about the challenge the Jaguars defensive backs will have.
We've got to be able to make it harder on them with changing the picture, because they are younger, and try to give them different looks potentially. And so not everything they're seeing is exactly what they are expecting to get at times. And also, doing a good job within our zones, getting hands-on reroutes, things like that. I mean, when they're bigger dudes, you worry about at the catch point at times, like because of the size and the frame. So we've got to do a great job playing through their hands when we are at the point of attack, playing through our hands, playing with great technique. But those guys probably have to take that a little bit personal in the DB room.
That'd be interesting to see. I don't sense that the Panthers are going to have a great passing game, but Bryce Young's been around the league a little bit now. Dave Canales knows him better. Your point is a good one. They have physical receivers. Look, Rick Ballou made a great point last night. Everybody in Jacksonville are saying, hey, we're going to start 1-0. This is a good it's a harder schedule, but not this week. I promise you, in Charlotte, this is the game they think they're winning. They also know the Jags only won 4 games last year. So I promise you, in Charlotte, they're saying, hey, I don't know how many games we're going to win, but we caught a break. We start with the Jags. Whether you like it or not, that's what they're saying in Carolina.
Quarterback Trevor Lawrence also met with the reporters after practice today and says he likes the way the new revamped offensive line looks.
A lot of confidence. That group has done a great job just buying in. Obviously, we have some new guys. I think what they've brought to the room has been really big, just as far as seeing the guys come together. It's been cool, and getting to know some of those new guys better. But yeah, I think in training camp, the guys having to rotate in gives me even more confidence, because something could happen. You never know. God forbid anything happens to anyone. But I think seeing 7, 8, 9 guys play together and play pretty well gives you a lot of confidence. The quarterback, I'm sure, offensive staff as well. But the 5 that are going to run out there on Sunday, I got all the faith in, and I know they got my back. I got their back, and that's one of the biggest things. But they're great players too, and I know they're going to get it done.
But he touched on, and I agree with this, Hayes. He touched on more than just 5. Chuma Edoga has made both McCary and the tackles better. The fact that he's there, the fact that he's competed. Wyatt Milam's down now, but the fact that he was there and everybody pointed to him as a left guard probably made Ezra Cleveland better. Jonah Monheim's going to make those interior guys better. The 5 that are going to start the game, it looks like, are the 5 we expected all along to start the game. But they might have all had better camps because of being pushed by some of these other guys.
Yeah, it's a good point. Let's get it to the injury report. We've got our first one of the regular season. The Jaguars say cornerback Monteric Brown with an ankle, and offensive guard Wyatt Milam with a knee did not practice today. Swing tackle Cole Van Lanen got in a limited practice as he recovers from a shoulder.
Yeah, I would think most guys will be up. Let me rephrase it. Most guys will be available to be up. I think they are blessed with not a lot of injury concerns. Rensaw's gone for the year. Milam is another rookie. They want to compete when he can. But it's a healthy team, Hayes. It really is.
On the Panthers front, only one player did not practice. That is left tackle Ikem Okwano, as he recovers from surgery from an emergency appendectomy.
Yeah, you don't want to lose your left tackle against a team with really good defensive ends, and that's the circumstance here. But they're a pretty healthy team, too, which you want going into game 1.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at another AFC South matchup. We talked about Texans-Rams. Let's get your thought on Colts-Dolphins. What do you think we'll see there? That's kind of a crossroads game for both those guys.
I think it really is, because both teams that crossroads is perfect. I thought the Dolphins had a chance to be decent until I saw them a couple weeks ago. Their ones were playing against the Jags threes, and they looked awful. Now, maybe they weren't inspired. I don't know how you can play in an NFL game and only get 20 a year, including the preseason. Yeah, interesting game. I'll probably still lean toward the Dolphins, but an interesting game.
Cowboys at Eagles tomorrow night. Philadelphia is a 7.5-point favorite. What's your excitement level to watch?
Oh, it's high.
Dallas, Philly.
Oh, it's way up there. I mean, it's way up there. Number one, it's an NFL game that matters. Number two, the storylines galore. There's the defending champions there. There's America's team. There's America's team that just gave away their best player. There's all and it just happened this week. And I think America's team, if things fall into place, aren't bad. They may not be good, but they're not bad. Oh, I think storylines abound. I can't wait till. When does that kick? About 8:15?
I think so.
I can't wait till they kick.
It should be a lot of fun for sure. Sticking with the Eagles, Philadelphia got a boost on the injury front as standout guard Landon Dickerson was upgraded to a full participant in Tuesday's practice. Dickerson sustained a knee injury early in camp. There were scares initially that it might have been season-ending, but what a tough guy. Had, I think, a minor kind of surgery and is going to be ready for the opener.
Yeah, he's a good player. I remember when he was at FSU, he transferred to Alabama, a tough, physical inside offensive lineman. And I think he's one of those guys, Hayes, that brings an energy and a nastiness and a savvy with him. Those are all cliches, I know, but you know my point. He's fiery, and he makes the guys around him more fiery, too. So he helps them from an emotional standpoint, too.
The Chiefs are getting some speed back. Hollywood Brown is back at practice. Kansas City opens against the Chargers Friday in Brazil.
Yeah, with Rice down, with Tyreek Hill long gone, they haven't had speed and explosiveness, so that helps them a great deal.
Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely not expected to play Sunday against the Bills. That's a big loss for Baltimore.
Is it not likely he will play?
It's not likely.
Small, low-hanging fruit. Hey,
Yeah.
always go for the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah,
By the way,
absolutely.
a very good player. Obviously, he is the downfield move tight end. They've got two very good tight ends there, and he's the downhill move tight end and a good one.
The Jets suffer a tough injury as right guard Elijah Vera Tucker injures his arm in practice, a triceps tear. The injury is feared to be severe. Vera Tucker is was expected to be the Jets' best offensive lineman.
If he tore his triceps, he may not play this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bad
tough
deal.
one.
And he's a very good player. You're right.
The NFL Red Zone will feature commercials this year.
How do you do that? How do you have commercials on the Red Zone?
You're already paying for the channel.
I'm with you.
I mean, that's what I don't get. You're paying for the channel. Doesn't that come with the commercial-free promise? I mean, otherwise, why am I paying for the channel?
And I got to admit, unlike others, I don't watch the Red Zone very much.
Well, it's tough for us
because it's games.
Yeah, the 1 o'clock block is.
But even no one, because we're always at the game.
Yeah.
And when I'm not at the game, I've got all the Sunday ticket games, and now you can multi-view them. So if I can multi-view the Sunday ticket games, I do that more than the Red Zone. So I'm not a big watcher, but I get if you are a big watcher, you hate the fact that there's now commercials.
Yeah, let's get into college football. A couple of games that we didn't really get into with great detail yesterday because we had such a loaded docket. Let's start with LSU. We talked a little bit about it, but taking down Clemson on the road 17-10, is LSU, in your mind, right at the front of the line when it comes to national title contenders?
Yeah, I think because they have failed to be elite in so many, they've been good. But since they failed to be elite in so many recent years, I'm probably going to need to see more. But from the category of you can only assess what you see, I was really impressed. They've got a lot of good players. He got a lot of guys in the portal in the offseason. They were pointing to this season. They've got what I think might be the best quarterback in all of college football. Yes, I think they're going to be very good.
A couple other teams that got big wins. What'd you think about Tennessee over Syracuse? And what'd you think about Georgia Tech going to Colorado and getting a win?
I was impressed with both of them. I'll start with Tennessee. I told Jeff to answer this on our SEC report yesterday. I thought Joey Aguilar looked as good as Nico, I can't pronounce his last name, ever looked. I thought he looked as good as... I think they may wind up winning that trade. It looked like they were big losers in the trade. I think they may win. I thought Aguilar looked really good. And yeah, Georgia Tech's a tough physical team. I still think they're going to have trouble beating a team that can throw it all over the place because they can't. But Haynes King is what a mauling runner he is for a quarterback. Got a little Tebow in him, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He plays like that. And so I was impressed with both.
Absolutely. In terms of our picks update, we're all tied up, right?
Yeah.
We all didn't have necessarily the same record, but we all ended up with 5 points.
I'm going to put all the numbers out tomorrow, but hey, JJ went 5-3, but did not have a game picker-upper. You and I both went 4-4. We got an extra point with a game picker-upper, so we all have 5 total points.
How about that?
What a start. What a start.
It's going to be
what a start in 2025 on the First Coast. What a start that was.
Absolutely. We will get you out with today's musical note. Today is the 57th anniversary of Jimi Hendrix releasing All Along the Watchtower. Hendrix's cover was released 9 months after Bob Dylan released the song. I thought that was really interesting that Dylan's original and Hendrix's cover are so close together. The song's still amazingly vibrant at the age of 57.
Yeah, and there's no question. And he was a rock artist before his time. Music was great in the 60s, but rock and roll wasn't. It was just coming about. So the great Jimi Hendrix. Well done.
Thanks.
Back in a moment with the second hour of the program. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jackson's more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog, Junk Removal and Hauling.
Hayes Carline is our special agent. He goes into the locker room to uncover insights about your favorite football team. His mission is to bring it back to you on 1010XL. Special Ops support by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Get more Gators on the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists with new episodes every Friday. Subscribe and listen by searching for 1010XL's Gator Bites podcast wherever you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh. You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality in a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home or a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Fall is here. The air is crisp, football is on, and the perfect backyard atmosphere starts with a high-quality fireplace from CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Hey, it's Joe C. Imagine nights by the fire, cheering on your team, surrounded by friends and family. CSS can transform your outdoor space into the ultimate game day destination. Stylish, warm, and built for memories. With several wood, gas, and electric options, let CSS make your backyard the best seat in the house. Visit CSSFireplaces.com.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jacksonville Humane Society is offering an exclusive chance to win a suite for 20 to this Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. Go to jaxhumane.org/JagsTix. And the wait's almost over as the ball will be kicked in Everbank Stadium this Sunday at 1 o'clock with 1010XL coverage starting at 8. It's currently 84 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
I think Alabama is terrible, and I think they're headed for a really disappointing year and perhaps a coaching search with Kalen DeBoer. And look, Florida State deserves all the credit in the world. But Alabama loafs way too often. And I think you then couple that with the fact that I don't think Kalen DeBoer has their attention. I don't know that he's got the level of respect that he needs to reach them. And I look at their schedule. I mean, I see a home game against Wisconsin. Well, if you loaf against the Badgers, you're going to get beat. Wisconsin doesn't have superior talent, but you know what they do have? High motors, and those motors will be running hot. And if you're going to loaf, you're going to lose to Wisconsin. They go to Georgia. That's going to be an annihilation. I don't care what happened last year. They go to Missouri. I'm not sure I wouldn't pick Missouri to beat Alabama today in Columbia. Alabama hosts Tennessee, who certainly looked a lot better than we thought they'd look. So, I mean, that's a very difficult game. They go to South Carolina. That's a loss in all likelihood, assuming Lenora Seller stays healthy. Alabama hosts LSU. That's a loss. Alabama hosts Oklahoma, which could be a loss. And then they have Auburn. They have the Iron Bowl on the road. That is a brutal schedule that I do not think Kalen DeBoer survives. I think Alabama's headed to 6-6 or 7-5.
Well, that's the interesting conversation. And if the season's early, Alabama's got a lot of good players. So I'd be surprised if they're 6-6. But I would also be surprised if they're 11-1 or 10-2 after seeing him the other day. So where in my mind do they fall in between there? And let's assume it is 6 or 7 wins. Do they fire him? It feels like they do. If they do, I mean, he's a good coach now. For what maybe he doesn't connect, but he's proven at Washington loafing and not playing hard was never a problem. Nobody ever said Kalen DeBoer's teams didn't get after it. So does he not connect here? Is he overwhelmed by it? And if indeed Alabama fires its football coach, who's next? Is it now finally time for Kiffin? Because he's on every list, and he's certainly on their list. Is it Kiffin and that's it? Is it Sark, or does Sark say, hey, Alabama's great, but I'm in Texas? Who is it? Is it if it's not one of those guys, who in the world is it?
Dan Lanning.
You know, Lanning, I think, would certainly be in the mix.
And he probably leaves to do it.
I would think.
I mean, Oregon's great.
He'd be crazy not to.
And Phil Knight's great, but it's Alabama.
I mean, as long as he got the NIL guarantees that I'm sure Alabama can provide.
Yeah, because he's got them now.
Yeah. So, you wouldn't want to, it's like, wouldn't want to leave you don't want to leave the Yankees to go manage, a team with a mid-level payroll.
Right.
Would you want Dabo?
Yeah,
he sort of seems like old school.
I think you would want him.
Yeah,
but I don't know that that's what's gonna.
At first I used to think Dabo was too silly's not the right word, but
quirky,
too happy corny for Alabama. But he was so successful that I don't feel that way anymore. And he's an Alabama grad. And so I think he probably is in play. And this might be the one job he does leave for.
I think it'd probably be Lane Kiffin. But if it's not Lane Kiffin, I think Marcus Freeman jumps at the job.
Good call.
And that would be a good hire.
That would be I never thought anybody would jump at the job if they're already at Notre Dame, but Brian Kelly did, So, I mean, Notre Dame's Notre Dame. And he played at Ohio State, so he's a Midwestern guy.
Don't you think he's taken him as far as he can?
Well, that's the thing. Has he? Is there a ceiling for Notre Dame? I mean, it's Notre freaking Dame. You wouldn't think so, but maybe there is.
I think. You still have the academic stuff. It's not. You can probably get more players into Alabama.
Yeah.
So, Brian Kelly sort of laid that out. He was like, I can get anybody into LSU.
Yeah.
I can't get everybody I want into Notre Dame.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm like this, but all those guys seem more realistic options to me to Alabama than Kiffin. There's something with Kiffin that I can't put my finger on it. Is
it the fact that he talks to his dog's Twitter account online?
Is it the fact that he completely choked a playoff spot last year? Let's start with that.
I think all of the above
in the swamp.
I think all of the above for me is that they fail in big games. He's got the quirky silliness. This is Alabama, man. You don't show up at Alabama with quirky. It's Alabama.
Particularly when you're coming off a disaster.
Yeah.
If you fired DeBoer after 2 years, that is a disaster.
This is the Yankees hiring your guy, your favorite person, Joe Madden. Joe Madden's a good manager, but he's silly. He's too silly. The Yankees aren't hiring silly Joe Madden, okay? And I just don't think. I just don't see it. Great call on Lanning. Great call on Marcus Freeman. Those are two really good choices.
Let me throw the wild card at you.
All right.
What if Billy Napier wins 14 games this year?
I think he would have to win all 14 games and the national. That's what it would take. He has been so scarred that even if it looked like he resurrected all that, I don't think Alabama hires him. I think Alabama's still out. He certainly, if he hadn't been on the hot seat so much, I think his seat has been so hot that I don't think Alabama can hire a guy who's been on that hot of a seat, even if he gets off the hot seat with a miraculous season.
You get Lagway, probably.
No, I hear
Alabama.
you.
You certainly could.
Yeah, I don't think they do it.
I think
the seat's been too hot.
So even if national title, you don't think Florida has to worry about losing Billy Napier?
I don't think
Alabama.
So. I don't.
Do you think Napier would take it?
If they win the national title, would he want to leave?
Yeah,
I think he would.
I
think if he got the chance to coach Alabama, he'd be out the door.
Urban Meyer left 2 years after the national title.
Yeah.
After two national titles, and so I think he would take the Alabama job. I just think Billy Napier
Napier worked at Alabama, so he knows.
And he's a Southern guy. He's from Georgia. He's an SEC guy. To coach Alabama, look, Bobby Bowden, and I've told you this story before. I can tell you the Bobby Bowden story. Despite all he had done at FSU just before he'd won a title, when was it? It wasn't Bear. Who was it? DuBose? Was it? It was before Stallings got the job. Who was before Stallings? Was it Ray Perkins? Probably. Okay. Bowden, it was between Perkins. Okay. Bowden was ready to go. I can tell you this for a fact because I knew people on his staff. He told his coaches, because Bowden was the hottest thing going, and he's from Alabama, and he played at Samford, which was in Howard. He was the hottest coach in the world, and everybody thought he's heading back to the state of Alabama. And that was his dream job. And he told his coaches, let's be planning to move. You can tell your wives we're going to be looking for real estate in Tuscaloosa because I'm taking you all with me. And that's where we are. And Alabama called Bobby Bowden. It was either 87 or 89. I forget which one of those dudes. I want to say 89, after FSU had been all the rage. And called Bobby Bowden and said, Coach, I'm so-and-so from Alabama, and we think the world of you. We think the world of what you've done for college football, and we would really like to interview you for our job. And Bobby says, you want to do what? He said, we'd like you to interview for the job. And Bobby said, interview for the job? And they said, yes, sir. And Bobby Bowden said, I'm good. 100% true. I can guarantee 100% true story. And then he hired Stallings or whoever. If Bobby thought they were calling to offer him the job, he said, interview? You want me to interview for the job?
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, but that happened. I mean, Brad Scott told me the story. Brad Scott was honest coordinator. Brad Scott told me, he said, I told Daryl, my wife, we're heading to Tuscaloosa. I mean, I can tell you the story. So interesting. So we'll see. But it's going to be.
I just think in this day and age, if you as a school, if I can not only get the coach, but I can get 20 of the players on his roster without anybody stopping me.
Right.
It's got to play in.
There's no question that's got to be a factor. Well, it'll be a story worth watching all year long. Let's take a break. Let's keep it on college football. The State Farm College Football Report is next.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
He's our big hitter.
I'm Jaguars Today's middle linebacker, Tom McManus.
He tackles Jags talk from a middle linebacker's point of view. Fridays on 1010XL. Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers. They're as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Tired of plumbers trying to sell you instead of help you? At Superior Plumbing and Pipeline, we do things differently. We hire real plumbers, not salesmen, and we never pay commission. That means no upselling, no pressure, and no unnecessary repairs. Just honest, expert work at a fair price. So the next time you need a plumber you can trust, make the superior choice and call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, where quality comes first and honesty is standard. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. No commissions, just solutions. Learn more at SuperiorPlumbingJacks.com.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring
my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome to the Bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Carissa McCullough and Yulee at 904-261-2223.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you about my daughter's journey with the Awaken 180 as she tries to lose a little weight. In fact, last week you heard from Amber herself. Well, let me give you an update. She's been in it just a little over 2 months. Amber has lost 51 pounds. That's a real number. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it happen. She has lost 51 pounds. And here's why. Awaken 180 is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change that is sustainable, and she has figured that out. She loves the journey. She loves the new recipes. She loves that she fits into her old clothes and she sleeps better and has more energy, and it is really, really working. She's proud, and man, am I proud of her. If you want to start your transformation, you can do the same thing. Call 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. My daughter's lost 50 pounds and she's so excited about it. You can as well. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the State Farm College Football Report with Shane Matthews on the Gators, Tom Block on the Noles, and Joe Zagacki on the Canes. Presented by your local State Farm agent.
All right, let's start with Gator Talk. Our friend Shane Matthews is the color commentator on the Gator Radio Network. State Farm agents Mike Nickus, Ron McCann, Mike Tosel, Kathy Scott, and Jason Judy sponsor this. Shane, I thought a good start. It was like a high school team they played. I know that, but you can't control that. All in all, what did you think? I thought a pretty complete performance from some young guys there.
Yeah, it went about as expected, Frank. You know, the thing that stood out to me was I don't know how many times football teams play a game and have no penalties. So it looked like we were very disciplined with no penalties. And I thought the bright spot for me was the backup quarterback, Tramel Jones. He was outstanding.
What'd you like? What in terms of what Tramel did, Shane?
Well, I've seen him in practice, but until somebody gets in game action, you really don't know what kind of player they are. But I thought his composure, his accuracy, the different types of throws he made, the velocity, you know, he throws a catchable ball, but he went to his check down. He took his steps, like Coach Furry says, he took his steps and let it go. He knew where to go with the football. I was extremely impressed.
Yeah, two things jumped out for me. Number one, because here's why. We've all worried that if Lagway goes down, the season's over. I don't feel that way as much. I mean, you're still better off if your quarterback plays, obviously, but I don't feel quite as much that way. The other thing that stood out for me was not because of the one-handed catch entirely, but I thought VB3, I mean, watching him, the first step after the punt return on the wide receiver screen, I knew all about Dallas Wilson and Trey Wilson. I had no idea he was that good. I was real impressed with him, Shane.
Yeah, Frank, I saw Elijah Williams, who was his high school coach at Orlando Jones down there in Orlando.
Okay.
And I saw him over the summer, and I asked him about him, and he told me he was a combination of Ike Kwesi and Riedel.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoa. But you're right. He knows how to play the game. Obviously, his dad has worked with him for many, many years. But the thing that impressed me, especially on punt returns, young guys, especially when they come right out of high school, they catch a punt, they try to go from one side of the field. They run backwards and try to outrun people to the other sideline.
Yep.
I call it like Pop Warner football.
Yep.
You can't do that in college. And he just split the defenders every time and got going, vertical. And that was impressive to me.
Without a doubt, defensively, the Gators held Long Island to just 86 total yards. What stood out to you on that side of the ball?
Well, it was about what I thought. We just overwhelmed them. This week will be a different story with South Florida. Their quarterback, who's kind of a Anthony Richardson type clone, really good runner, every now and then makes a good throw or what have you. So we're going to need to play much better defensively this week against that type of offense with their tempo.
Shane, very clearly, the story of Florida, I mean, the schedule's even harder than I thought because USF actually looks like they're pretty good. We saw them against Boise, we all did. FSU obviously is better than a good bit better than they were. Miami, I thought, looked like a complete team, and then there's the SEC. So the whole story of this Florida season, in my opinion, is what looks like a very improved Florida team on a collision course with this brutal schedule. Are they ready for this? I mean, can they be a 9-10 win team given all of that, in your opinion?
Well, whether you had a bad non-competitive type schedule, Frank, in college football, you got to get a lot of breaks to win a bunch of games.
Yeah.
I think Florida has a good roster, but like I told people all summer long, our roster is just like everybody else in the SEC. Some teams may have some of the superstars, but everybody's built the same way. Now you got to go out and execute, get some turnovers, get some breaks, some easy scores, and if the ball bounces your way, you can win a bunch of games.
We'll find out. Shane Matthews checking in from the Gator Radio Network. Thank you, Shane.
All right, guys, take care.
Let's head to Tallahassee, where Tom Block checks in from the Seminole Radio Network. The report is brought to you by State Farm agents Craig Dewhurst, Ramey Alabu, Margie Williams, Scott Hobson, Brandon Thomas, and Randy Taylor. The surprise of the week in college football, Tom, was the Noles. Man, did they look good. I thought they played fast. I thought they were more physical than Alabama. In a trillion years, I never saw that coming. How surprised were you, or maybe you weren't, and what did you make of the whole thing?
No, I think even the most loyal Florida State person would have to admit some surprise there. I mean, I knew Florida State was going to be better. I didn't know that it would look like that. So cathartic is the word that has come to mind for me and Florida State fans. It was, I think, I can't say I counted it up, but according to the Google machine, it was 636 days from the snub in 23 until the game on Saturday, and it was 636 long days. So it just, for FSU fans, and I don't know about players and coaches, I don't think Norvell would ever admit it, but it feels like it kind of wiped the slate clean, and energy and enthusiasm is high in Tallahassee early in the season, which has not been the norm for a lot of years here in the last decade or so. They've been, below 500 in the month of September, and it just, makes for a gloomy outlook to the season. So to start like this, much needed, a surprise, but a good place to start.
Tom, FSU outrushed Alabama 230-87. What stood out to you on both sides of the line of scrimmage for the Seminoles?
Well, the fact that Florida State won both lines of scrimmage was certainly impressive. I think, there was a lot of talk about, you always hear with offensive lines that they've got to play together, continuity and that sort of thing. And that's true. This group had never played together, but they had all started. Every one of those guys had started at least 2 years somewhere else. So they're veterans. They've been in the war, so to speak. The fact they got on the same page that quickly was impressive. But I think on the offensive side, you really got to credit Castellanos for what he can do. We knew he was mobile, but when you see it, he was smart with what he did. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. He did a nice job of getting down, staying low, and not taking too many hits. Defensively, Alabama, you mentioned the rushing figure, 55 of those yards were on the opening drive, so they only had 25 the rest of the game. Now, part of that in the second half, it was because they were having to throw because they were from behind. But I think that I guess the surprise on the defensive side to me would be how many bodies they played up front. I think a lot of us looked at it and said, well, they don't have many proven commodities here, so they're going to have to lean on the first 3 or 4 guys a lot. But really, they didn't do that. I mean, they put a lot of guys out there, and they're high on a lot of these guys, too, guys that, the fans and you probably haven't heard of or paid attention to. So, and they're playing well. They're bought into the new defensive coordinator, Tony White. You can see that as well.
Tom, I thought they had an edge. Maybe it was Castellanos. Maybe it was his comments about Alabama that got everybody in an uproar. Maybe it was Norvell really just rebuilt this team with coordinators and players. But I thought the fans had an edge just watching on TV. It looked like an old Doak Campbell of old. Did you feel that way? I mean, there was an edge that was an old school FSU edge to those guys. Did you sense that?
Yeah, I did sense that a little bit, and it's funny you say that because there were more guys back than I can recall. I mean, guys from all 3 of their national title teams. From Kevin Knox in the '93 to Peter Warwick, and Warwick Dunn was back there, and as well as guys from the 2013 team and Jordan Travis and some others from the unbeaten team a couple of years ago. Yeah, I do think they had an edge, and it's interesting because when Castellanos made those comments over the summer, obviously it was bulletin board material, and he caught a lot of flack. And whether you believe it or not, what he said afterwards when he was asked about it is, I wasn't trying to disrespect Alabama. I was trying to instill confidence in our guys.
Right.
And I thought it was interesting after this game when Juice Cryer was asked about it and Tommy's confidence or what he said. Cryer said, look, if he tells me we're going to the moon, I'm strapping in. And if that's what the team believes, then Tommy definitely has made his mark in a very short time if he's got guys that are ready to go to the moon for him right now.
Boy, and I think he has, and I think what a job by Mike Norvell. I know it's only one game, but what a job to have it rebuilt at least at this point. Tom Block checking in from the Seminole Radio Network. Thank you, Tom.
You bet. Have a good one, guys.
Let's head to Carl Gables, where Joe Zagacki joins us. He's the play-by-play voice of the Canes, brought to you by State Farm agents Carissa McCullum and Gene Coleman. Likewise, Joe, I was really impressed with Miami. I thought both those teams were really good. Sometimes there's a close game, and you're not sure how good the two teams were. Boy, I thought those were I think that's two playoff teams. I was really impressed from 10,000 feet anyway. You were right there. What was your take of the game overall?
Well, I told you guys to keep an eye on Malachi Toney.
You did.
So he was really good, as expected. I thought the game, for the first game of the year, it felt like a game in November. I thought it was really well played for the most part until the officials kind of got in the way late. But both teams were physical. I thought both teams kept throwing punches. There's a lot of talk here about Miami, squandering the 10-point lead. I guess when you're the home team, you say you squandered the lead, but when you're the team that comes from behind, you say, well, you did all the things right to tie the game, which Notre Dame did do, and then Miami executed their drive down the stretch. But I was pleased with Miami's run defense. I was pleased with their defensive tackle play. I really loved the quarterback, and I really liked the Miami offensive line. And I also think they beat Notre Dame at their own game. Miami did not turn the ball over.
Absolutely, Joe. I thought it was a great performance for Mario Cristobal as well. I mean, you look at the last 2 years, man, he gets his teams ready to play. They crush Florida in the swamp, and then they turn around and defeat the national runner-up, Notre Dame, last year. Mario Cristobal, do you think he'll start getting more national praise in how he's handled things with the Hurricanes?
I don't know. He can't seem to get away from that narrative of, blowing the Georgia Tech game with the timeouts and all of that stuff. For some reason, that just continues to follow him no matter where he goes. But I would pick up on your point, and I would say he has had them ready to play last year against Florida, this year against Notre Dame, even 2 years ago when Clemson came in. He had them ready to play. He's had them ready for some of these big games. The question would be not so much the sideline stuff. It is going to be, does he take the foot off the pedal in practice? They practice really hard, and it's 100 degrees here in November. So I think he's probably going to monitor that situation as this season unfolds, because they got to stay healthy and they've got to stay sharp the entire year.
Joe, what did you think of Carson Beck's performance, seeing him on the field for the first time?
I thought he was great, Frank. Exactly what I expected. What I saw in practice and the scrimmages is what I saw in the game. A guy that commands the huddle, gets you in and out of the right play, makes decisive decisions, throws the ball with authority, and plays big. He's 6'5", and he still plays taller than that. Even on the touchdown to C.J. Daniels, they're dragging him down, and you can see he's trying to raise himself up even higher to make that throw. So I think he's really good. I thought it was a great answer for Miami to have following Cam Ward.
And that pass rush is just so impressive, Joe. Give us a sense of those guys that are getting out there and getting it done.
Yeah, I think Miami, Corey Hedeman talks about they got to do a better job of earning the right to rush the passer. But Bain played with a chip on his shoulder. Mesidor played one of his best games as a Miami Hurricanes play. He played at the level in which I wanted to see him play for a long time. He's got to reach that level in every single game. But then there are two other guys that have been inserted into that pass rush, Marquise Lightfoot and Blunt, Armando Blunt. Both those guys are former five-star players, and their impact was also felt in the game on Sunday night. I think the pass rush for Miami's got a chance to be really, really, really good.
Good teams win a lot of games. Complete teams win championships. Boy, they look complete to me, Joe. I know it's only one game, but I was impressed with both teams. We'll see what happens. Joe Zagacki, the terrific play-by-play voice of the Miami Hurricanes. Great start for Miami. Thank you, Joe.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
All right, that is the State Farm College Football Report. Shane Matthews talking Gators. Tom Block talking Seminoles. Joe Zagacki talking about those Miami Hurricanes. We'll take a break. When we come back, our medical report. Kevin Kaplan is here. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Follow the Florida Gators on 1010XL. Gators! The Gators hook horns with the South Florida Bulls. Kickoff at 4 on Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Garrett Scantling here, and once again, thanks to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. My torn hip labrum issue is resolved thanks to Dr. Doward, and Dr. Acevedo keeps my feet healthy too. Training and competing, that's what it's all about for me. And Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has me in top condition.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie arrange to hear from my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Football is back, and so is Prize Picks. You know what that means. It's time to play and win with America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. Will DJ Lagaway throw up for more than 270.5 yards against Long Island? Will Jeremiah Smith have more than 1.5 touchdown catches against Texas? Will Cade Klubnik throw more than 2.5 touchdown passes against LSU? It's just that simple. But here's the best part. Prize Picks offers an injury insurance reboot. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks invented Flex Play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. All Prize Picks withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code 1010XL and get $50 instantly when you play 5. That's 1010XL to get $50 instantly when you play 5. Prize Picks. Good to be right.
It was a long off season, but the NFL is back. The NFL regular season is just days away. It's time. Kickoff week is built by Roland Reach Plumbing and KO Electric Heating and Air.
I hope you're ready. Are you ready? I'm ready.
On 1010XL.
Football is a game of inches, and at Front Runners Tap House, every inch counts. Catch every big play on their massive 396-inch giant television. The ultimate game day experience is waiting for you at Front Runners Tap House inside the Community First Igloo.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hume Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is JJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Hume Flowers, they'll do it all.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mokama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and Lagers, matching memories and some Mokama magic is what it's all about. Mokama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mokama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
And we thank our friends from Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. That's Kevin Kaplan's operation, and he joins us now, the Jaguar team doctor. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Game week.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You kind of have a game face. Can you see it, Hayes?
What's the Sunday morning routine?
Yeah, what do you do?
So I go there early, obviously. We get there.
How early? What time do you get there?
So 3 hours before.
Okay.
So we're there before. You guys are there.
You're there about 10.
So 10 a.m. That's not too bad.
We meet up with Ferg and obviously talk about some of the players in or out. And then the plan coming up, make sure everything's set up and, IVs if we need to do some of that and get, some guys need anti-inflammatories. And so we kind of get everything prepped and ready to go. So by the time the players walk in, we're not scrambling. And then we have, obviously, once we get the team all squared away, there's a 60-minute meeting and we meet with the other team and we bring all the athletic trainers, all the spotters, and we meet in a meeting room every week. Any stadium does this.
Okay.
We do it in our home stadium. To number one, orient them. They may not be the Texans or the Titans that come here every year. Carolina's not here a lot, right? So they don't know our stadium. Where's the ambulance? Where's the red hat? Where are the emergency things that we need? God forbid a catastrophic injury happens. And so we kind of orient them as to our stadium and tell them where things are and who's who.
Okay, and you the team doctors all kind of know each other, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, most of the guys. They're new guys. It's kind of fun. So. The Packers physician who's been there forever, Dr. McKenzie, he just retired.
Yeah.
And so there's a younger orthopedic surgeon who actually trained at NYU much after me, but he called me and kind of asked me some advice. And obviously he just had to do Michael Parsons, physical, all that stuff. So, but I remember making the calls when I first got the job, talking to Andrews and talking to Elatrosh. And so it's kind of neat seeing the passing of the guard, but we all know each other because we're at the combine together and we sit in meetings together. And so we're all very collegial with each other.
So you get there at 10 and you get with Ferg, you get with the other team. When the team's warming up, you out there? You just out there making sure, watching, walking? What are you doing?
Yeah, so we usually stay in the locker room if a player needs something, whether it's an IV or medication, anti-inflammatory, things like that, until the players all go out to warm up. So I usually don't go out there. We have our 60-minute meeting, so I leave the locker room, and then the 60-minute meeting, we have that, go back, check the locker room, and then once all the players are out of the locker room warming up, then I go out there. And then we walk across the field. You'll see us walk across the field, talk to the physicians, kind of orient them to the field. Here's where our ambulance is, just kind of another look. And then we're just kind of catching up because most of the guys we're friends with.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then we go back in when everybody goes back in. And sometimes there are things, need to do certain things before the game, whether it's meds or making sure guys are ready to go.
Team seems healthy, right?
Yeah, it looks. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
I mean, if you look around the league, it's Ferg's done a great job. Yeah,
without a doubt. You brought up the Micah Parsons trade, and it made me wonder about this. So, if the Jaguars acquire a player in a trade, you put them through the physical. Is that like similar to what they would go through at the combine, where you're checking everything, or is it not quite as extensive? Like, what goes into? Because I'm assuming it's got to be done fairly quick, but thorough.
Absolutely right, but you have to be thorough. There are certain times, and we've seen this, where a trade doesn't go through because they didn't pass the physical.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll get them in the mornings when they come in. Usually they fly in the night before or the morning, and we'll do a complete physical. We'll get x-rays. We'll get MRIs. If we need CT scans, we'll get that. And we evaluate the player just like they were at the combine. A lot of these guys obviously have been in the league, so we know their histories. I have my old report. If a guy was in the league for 8 years, I have my combine report from 8 years ago, so I can see what he had coming into the league. And then we have all the reports of what happened to him while he was in the league. And then we have to make an educated decision on whether or not there is a high risk, moderate risk, low risk. And we kind of relay that information to the general manager and to Gladstone and Baselli and make a decision from there.
You ever flunk a guy? You ever had a guy they traded for and you said sorry?
Yeah, a lot of the flunking guys will come from medical in terms of cardiac issues, heart issues. I have flagged for high risk. The only time that typically in orthopedics we may fail somebody is if they come in with like an ACL deficient knee. In other words, they tore their ACL. Maybe they're playing with it, didn't know they tore it. Their knee's somewhat stable, maybe a little loose. But a lot of things like arthritis or cartilage loss or knee swelling, the way I usually play it is I say, this is what he has. And because a lot of guys have been playing through these types of things and say, this is what he has. It puts him at a higher risk. And we may have to manage that. So that's more of a high risk as opposed to a fail, like, a guy that doesn't have an ACL.
When you're looking at a medical report that you did 8 years ago at the combine versus a current one, with your trained eye, is the wear and tear obvious to you that they've been playing professional football for many years?
You do see that. If you see a small cartilage problem from the combine and they've been playing hard for 8 years, some of those cartilage injuries may get bigger. And so, the thing that we don't have as physicians is a crystal ball. How long will the career last with a cartilage injured knee? And so we have to relay that information saying, he may be good for a contract. We don't know what will happen into the next contract. And that all plays into what they're trying to do, with Gladstone and Baselli and Liam. What are they looking for in a player? Is this just a short-term solution? Is it a long-term solution? So they have to weigh that into kind of what we say medically.
All right, Kevin, it's going to be 93 degrees, and that's for these pro teams that have all the resources. It's going to be 90-some degrees for all these high school teams that are playing on Friday nights, some on artificial turf fields. What concerns are there for not just for the Jags or the NFL, but if it's football, and it's football and it's football in Florida, which means 90-degree football in September. What elevated concerns are there for a doctor?
And the number one thing, obviously, is hydration. These guys go out there, they're playing hard, they're playing in the heat, and we certainly worry about the cramping, the dehydration. And I think the referees are doing a great job now. It's something that I didn't see when we were in high school is, water breaks. They'll take these water breaks and make them all drink water.
They have to, right?
They have to.
Like halfway through the quarter or something like that?
Absolutely. So that's the number one concern, I think, because with dehydration, you worry about performance, and then you worry about someone tweaking their knee or having an ACL injury, something like that. Orthopedic injuries, we know those happen. But the things that we can prevent are the hydration, the cramping, the preparation. And that's probably the number one thing that I preach to my athletic trainers in high school.
Orthopedic injuries, are they affected positively, negatively, or not at all by weather? I mean, you could slip. So sure. But I don't mean that. I mean, when it's hot, is there anything different?
I think that there's a concern on performance, on how are they managing themselves during a game when they're dehydrated or overheated. And that's where you can see some of those injuries creep up, a twist of a knee, or someone falls or dives and they injure their shoulder. And was it because they were just dehydrated and tired and they fell? Obviously, there's not a one-to-one correlation, but those are things that go through my mind. If someone's properly hydrated, they're out there and they're playing at their high level, maybe you can decrease some of those injuries.
Do you think we'll ever get to a day where a brace of some kind is invented where it can prevent an ACL, a knee blow up from happening? Or is that just medically, it's just going to happen? It's just the nature of the human body.
I think the contact ACL injuries you can somewhat protect against with a brace. But the problem is even though you're in a brace and that brace is holding the thigh, holding the shin bone, the knee still has some play. And so you can still hit a divot, twist your knee, and have that non-contact pop because it's not going to prevent every bit of rotation. I think the number's a little bit less when you wear a brace, especially for our O-linemen. That's why you see all these high schools and colleges wearing the O-lineman braces. But when the guys get into the pros, they just hate wearing braces. And so, a lot of those you see because guys get rolled on. But I don't think there's going to be an ACL prevention brace that prevents things 100%. It's just not possible.
All right, Kevin Kaplan, team doctor. You're ready? Orthopedic specialist, Jacksonville. How's it going? How's the company going?
It's going great. I love the group of guys. I love the staff. Everybody's doing a great job, and we're certainly getting patients in quick and treating them the way they need to be treated with the highest level of care.
Yeah, Kevin and his people have put together sort of an all-star team of the best orthopedists around. So orthopedic specialists of Jacksonville, you can find them online if you have any orthopedic needs. So there's that. The final question. When this game ends, and we're going to win, right? We're going to win?
I hope so.
Okay, you expect to win. Okay.
I would love to, yes.
When that happens and you don't have to repair anything, or are you going to celebrate on Sunday? Is it a big celebration day for you?
Of course. I love going home.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
My kids are there.
What time do you get to leave the stadium?
Yeah, so
if there hasn't been anything crazy injury-wise.
Yeah, so you still stay in the locker room, and we're there pretty late until everybody leaves the locker room because guys come in with little things here and there. And so we're usually there an hour and a half or so after the game, making sure things gets wrapped up. Then I go home and hang out with the kids.
Then he goes and parties. He hangs out with the kids.
High five my kids.
Kevin, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Kevin Kaplan, the team doctor for the Jags. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thursday night, the NFL season will get underway as the Philadelphia Eagles will display their Super Bowl banner and then take on their division foe, the Dallas Cowboys. The latest lines on the opener, Philadelphia a 8.5-point favorite, even money against the spread. Dallas getting the 8.5 minus 120. On the money line, the Cowboys are plus 320, the Eagles minus 425, and the over-under at 47.5. The Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers will play on Friday night in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chiefs a 3.5-point favorite, minus 170 on the money line. Chargers plus 145, and the over-under is at 46.5. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville is game time, and just like the Jaguars fight for every yard on the field, Duck Duck Rooter fights for every customer at home. From plumbing repairs to septic pump outs to keeping your AC cool all season long, we've got the winning playbook. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and delivers championship service every time. When plumbing, septic, or AC problems put you on defense, don't fumble the call. Dial 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Hey, Carline here to let you know about my new tailgate obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love the new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers, as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your grocery store.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Hey, it's Vegas time. This is former Jags linebacker Tom McManus from Helmets and Heels, and we want you to come and join us once again in Las Vegas for the Raiders game weekend. If you've not been to the Circus Stadium Swim, you're missing out on 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive 143-foot screen with all the current sports betting action. Plus, all you Jaguar fans are invited to huddle up with Helmets and Heels at the Overhang Bar with our pregame tailgates on Friday with drink specials and special giveaways.
Lauren Brooks here. Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, and myself will be broadcasting Helmets and Heels live on air from a Stadium Swim Cabana on Friday, October 31st. Then hosting the wildly popular Jacksonville Huddle Up Friday evening at the Overhang Bar inside Circa. If you were there last year, you know you won't want to miss it. If you've already booked your flight to Vegas for the big game and are still searching for accommodations, stay where we're staying at Circa Resort and Casino from October 30th to November 3rd.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, we're getting closer to game day. We talked a lot of Jaguars today. You heard from Dwan Smoot, the terrific defensive end from the Jags. Hayes caught up with him. We talked about the Jags and the significance of the game. Brett Hastings came by. Sports and Courts today was about an appeal from some Vanderbilt players to play 5 years, to be eligible 5 years, in 5 years, and I hope that winds up happening. We'll see if it does. The State Farm College Football Report. We talked Gators, Knowles, and Canes with Messrs. Matthews, Block, and Zagacki, and, of course, Kevin Kaplan just stopped by to talk about medical injuries in the world of sports. We've talked a lot of football. We haven't talked much football.
Whoa.
See what I did there?
Impressive.
So the Sporting Jacks group, they play again at the UNF. That's coming up on Saturday. What do you got in there for me, JJ?
A family 4-pack to see Sporting Jacks professional women's soccer match at Hodges Stadium at UNF against Dolls Trinity Football Club. So be caller number 4 right now, 641-1010.
Caller 4-641-1010, and you're going to watch a little bit of soccer, and it's coming up in just a bit. I will say we'll talk more about this tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, back to 2 to 4, though. We'll be here 2 to 4 tomorrow. Lee Smith will be here. Greg McGarrity will be here. We're looking forward to that. There is pressure on the Jags. Look, there's been so much attention, and it's been fun attention. Doug Peterson got fired, Trent Baalke got fired, Tony Baselli got hired, Liam Cohen got hired, James Gladstone got hired. They traded up for Travis Hunter. There's been all those stories have been big stories, and then how it played out, and the OTAs and the minicamp and the camp, and the Jags have been. They're always in the news in Jacksonville because we're a one-team city. I get that, but they've been so in the news, and there's been so much positivity and so much excitement that now there's, and Tony said that there's still pressure on you to perform and pressure on you to win. In addition to Trevor's 5th year, all the stuff. In addition to that, it's exacerbated, Hayes, by the fact that it's a home game, and it's a game that's it's against a team that is not perceived to be very good, whether it's true or not. So, yeah, there's some pressure on the Jags in week 1.
I think there's pressure because you think of the hours that they have poured into this, and really it comes down to just 3 hours on Sunday is going to be more important than any of the thousands of hours that these men have poured into this franchise since they were hired. It all comes down to what happens between 1 and 4:15. And again, if it doesn't go well, yeah, that's going to be a problem because you're putting yourself in an early hole, not a huge hole, not an overwhelming deficit, but you're putting yourself in a hole when the schedule does get considerably harder once you get beyond the Panthers game. Again, Liam Cohen fared marvelously against Carolina last year in his 2 games as Tampa Bay's OC. Carolina has a defense that is coming off a historically awful season. So there's a lot of things to give you hope and optimism that it will go well on Sunday. But yeah, of course there's pressure because they know it. All the work that they've done, it doesn't matter if the 3 hours on Sunday look subpar.
Right. The good news is they seem ready for this. I think they have the better of the 2 teams. I believe that. I think he's got them ready. It's a healthy team. Kevin Kaplan said, knock on wood, it's a healthy team. Obviously, Caleb Bransaw's down for the year. We know that. Monteric Brown and Milam and a few guys are still working their way back. And
Those were the only 2 guys that didn't practice today.
The only 2 guys, yeah.
I mean, if you had told Liam Cohen at the start of training camp, when you get to Wednesday of week 1, you're going to have a reserve corner and a reserve offensive lineman not practicing.
And everybody else goes.
And everybody else is fine.
Yeah.
Because Cole Van Lanen was limited. But even if you added him,
right,
and you're going to have another reserve offensive lineman that's limited in that Wednesday practice, he would have signed up for that in a split second.
It's a healthy team. It's a team that seems emotionally ready. It's a team that feels like it's had a good offseason. So, man, we're getting there. It's only Wednesday. The problem is it's only Wednesday. That's the problem I've got.
But at least we have a game tomorrow night.
Yeah. It'll be fantastic. I can't wait till tomorrow night's game. So we're getting there. And then we have a college weekend. We got a lot of stuff. But I'm with you. It is a.
And we got a Friday NFL game. I mean, the NFL.
How about that, by the way?
Opening weekend now.
And Chiefs and Chargers. I mean,
it's a great one.
It's not a throwaway game.
Oh, these are fantastic games.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Friday? You like it?
I do like it because they could put the NFL on every night of the week, and I'd be excited about it.
Yeah.
So
I know high schools has pushed back on Friday nights, but it's one game, and it's in Brazil.
And I always just feel like if you're gonna go to attend a high school game, if you have somebody that's participating, whether it's a player or a staff or a band or cheerleader, something like that. Yeah, I don't know that many people. I've never really known anybody that just randomly goes to high school games as just a general fan. Right. You just don't see it much. So I think the NFL playing on Friday night is perfectly fine.
Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Getting close, Ballou. Hump day.
Oh, it's great.
I'm looking forward to this game.
Let's get through tonight. Now you football fans are set for the rest of your life.
Yeah, the rest of that's right. After tonight,
just get through it. I love those people.
Yeah. You've warned me. You actually threatened me before. So with bodily harm, if I waste my life
what
away.
am I gonna do? There's no football.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. Find a girlfriend. Why don't we start with that? She can occupy some of your time.
It's not as good as football.
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
Don't make a mistake there. I
can't go on. What am I gonna do? Is it good?
The healthy team.
Yeah.
Jaguars ready, right?
Yeah.
It feels that way.
I would think so. And they're really confident over in Charlotte. I did an interview earlier today, and they think they're going to win this game. They look at Jacksonville and what they did a year ago, and, the both former Tampa Bay offensive coordinators taking on really arguably the two worst defenses last year in the NFL. I mean, Carolina was horrendous as well on defense. So I think a very winnable game. I do look at them, though, and they returned their entire offensive line. Now, some of that is obviously in doubt. 3 players on the injury report. And Equano, I got the sense today by doing that interview in Carolina that he's not going to play. Right. Okay, that's the way they were making it sound in Charlotte. That'd be a big blow. I mean, I think they went from 53 allowed sacks to 36 a year ago. So they improved dramatically, and all 5 returned. And we'll see. It looks like the guards will be able to go, but we'll see what happens here with the left tackle.
All right, what's coming up tonight? A lot of that.
Let's see. Tonight, John Osher at 7.
Yep.
The Philly Godfather.
No, he's not.
He's coming up at 33.
He's not.
He's this Prince Money. He's a best-selling author now, too. He's added that to his resume.
I followed you to see that. How about that? So there you go.
So we got all that coming up. Looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun.
All right. Rick Ballou goes into the night with John Osher, the Philly Godfather, and a whole lot more. We're out of here. Remember, tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Greg McGarity, 2:15, Lee Smith, 3:15, and a lot of football talk as well. We're out of here. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.